Go. So yesterday I posted a video tour that Mary from Michigan did of her home. And this home was amazing. Like it's this split level house that she's turned into this primitive a whole different world. Like you walk in and you have literally time traveled to another century. It's so cool. So I thought today would be fun to just do kind of a reaction video to my video, which basically as we go through the home tour, I'd like to just talk about some of the things I noticed that really worked for this. So whether or not you are someone who likes a maximalist style with all of the collections, or you're someone like me who decorates more minimalist, I think there's a lot of design principles that she put into effect in this home that we can learn from. So I just thought it would be fun to go through and just say, hey, this is what I see here. And what do you see? I saw a lot of comments. You guys really picked up on a lot of interesting things in there. There was so much to look at. I know you're going to look at it again. I am really excited that Mary chose to share this with us, and she has put her heart and soul into this. So let's look at it. All right, so right now I am looking at the closet door that she added, took out a new closet door and added this old closet door with this wonderful cloth that's all tea stained or coffee stained, and so easy to do, such a different look. And now I'm looking at this red wall, right? The red wall, so bright red with that wood. Looks so good together, that red and that wood. And I love her cubbies. Like those cubbies are so amazing. How does she get the cups and everything to completely fit into the cubbies? It's like the cubbies were made like for the objects. Like look at the baskets, how they fit perfectly. There's no extra space around them. Now, okay, I want you to notice she's got carpeting on the floor. This looks to me like this is the bottom of the split level, so this would be the basement. So to someone's response of the ceiling being low, I imagine it might be a 7-foot ceiling because it does look like the basement of a split level house. And you can kind of tell by looking at the ledge. I've lived in homes like that, have you? That you're kind of looking out at the ground, basically. All right, loving the fireplace there. I lived in a split level house about this period and had a fireplace very similar to that. And I love what her husband did with the mantle and then having that sign there. And I think it's genius that she painted the bottom of the wall and those ceilings that bright, bright red. It just makes the whole room feel like a mood, like you're totally stepping into something. You can see that red on the wainscoting on the bottom. And then it seems like she might have, I don't know if there's a treatment on a paneling there that she's treated it with red and gray, or if that's a wallpaper. I'm not really sure, but it makes a very interesting backdrop to all her collections. I've got to say, I love the baskets. Genius the way they've reused tables and other things to make shelves. Interesting that she collects all those Bibles. She seems to have a lot of them in the house, and I love the blue coverlets. Oh, I love them. Now, this is interesting to me too, because you see, we just looked at the TV, and she's not hiding the TV. The TV's sitting right out there. You don't really notice it because you're looking at all those collections. This is what I find very interesting. She has been able to marry the modern and the very old together in one room. And because there's so much of it in there, it just kind of all blends together. Love this closet. Interesting crazy quill behind it. And I love her fetish with old clocks that don't work. I thought that was a funny comment. But look at, she's got green and red, and oh, now she has yellow, bright yellow bathroom. And the trim is the same color as the yellow, but you see the one wall is yellow, the ceiling is yellow, the other wall has that paneling effect on it. I think those shelves on the walls are amazing. I mean, and then she can fill that all with collections. And one thing I want to say about collections versus clutter, collections don't have to be clutter. In her case, her collections are very organized, very arranged, and methodically. You can see with intention. Look at that wall out there. Okay, look at that wall. It has fingerprints of her grandchildren and pictures, all in bright colors that are you seeing in the house. So she very much has brought her heart into the house. But back to the collections. Sometimes if we just get a lot of collections and arrange them haphazardly and let them be everywhere, it will cause more chaos than if we have rule and order to our collections. You see this in Alice's house all the time, right? Okay, I like that one wall is that wallpaper mural kind of thing. The other wall is the yellow. So it looks like she has maybe 4 yellow walls and then that one wall that's wallpaper. Really cool. Another closet that she has turned into a bunch of shelves. I love that look. I love what she has in there. I mean, the firkins and the coverlets and the Crocs. Everything just coordinates together so well. All right, now we're looking at a cupboard, and now there are a lot of different items in this room. You see the boxes stacked up. Everything is stacked, but it's stacked to perfection. What really I thought was interesting in this room was the table with those different chairs. I loved that. Nothing is matching, and that's okay. That really works in this house. And also she had the border around the top with that shelf with all those coffee grinders, butter pats. Look at those tiny little yellowware bowls. They're just tiny. And of course the barrels. Who doesn't love barrels in a primitive home? But that gold is a very strong gold. And again, it's set off with the warmth of the wood. So all these bright colors work because she has so much warm wood in there too. I love too that she has like mantles and things that were pulled out of her sister's old house that she bought from Kentucky. She's got items that were given to her as a gift. So her family knows her as a collector and they've been really great about sharing that with her. And I just feel like when I look at this house, I see a lot of love. I see a lot of years and years and years of collecting. Boy, collecting like this doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of us will never do this, never achieve it. Some of us don't want to achieve it. I know that I'm anti-collecting in my own house, but it doesn't mean that I can't really appreciate someone who is collecting and enjoys their collections. This is the thing. In different parts of our life, we are at different stages, and some people love to have those collections around them and other people find that to be too overwhelming. And it's okay, because for her, this is her home and her haven, and this is how she finds joy and her hobby and her rest in it. I love that she only paid $10 for that her sister paid $10 for that thing. That's amazing. I also think it's really cool how she's got family photos all over the wall. All family photos, and they're modern. They're not old. She's not hiding them. Very, very interesting. It works because of all the colors and all the things going on in the room. She's saying, this is my home. This is my heart. I'm going to have all the things around me that matter to me. All the things around me that really spark my joy. And that's what she's done. This kitchen is amazing. She told me that this is her favorite room. And what interesting pieces she has. You know, some from the Victorian area, some from primitive era. Look at all the butter pats there. And those bowls. And then the scales. And, you know, when I look at this scene's like my favorite scene. Because it's like a general store. And I feel like you could do this ASMR video in front of it, you know, and wear this old costume. And look at the rolling pins. You could do this thing and you're being in a whole different time period. It just looks so cool together. That's the thing. For everybody, we all have different desires of what we want in our home. And what she has successfully done is basically brought the feel of a old primitive antique store right into her kitchen, which is really commendable. This red and this orange, this red and this goldy yellow is very interesting. But see how she has everything organized, you know, all her tin cups are there together. All her blue mason jars are there together. You know, her bowls are all sitting together. The boxes are similar and they're stacked with the measures stacked. Things are organized and aligned. And I don't even know how you get Crocs to fit that little cupboard. Like, they're all perfect. Like the cupboard was made for the Crocs. I don't know. It's so interesting to me. Signs. I always love signs. I think what really I enjoy about this interior is that it's all that wood, all that warmth. Cubbies are just something I'm drawn to, and some of those collections are really beautiful. So, and that's a really good workspace right there. I really like that. And did you notice all the cutting boards? The pie safe. I'm sure she has her modern things tucked behind these doors because I mean, somewhere she has modern things. Well, for instance, there's a modern refrigerator. She doesn't have that disguised or covered up. She has her grandchildren's magnets on there, that's very typical. And it's just kind of there unapologetically. And I think that's what I love about it too. This home feels like it's accessible to her children and grandchildren. Like, it's okay, honey, you can come play in all my antiques, and I love you, and it's okay if that gets scratched or that gets ruined, because it's really about my love for you. And while I have all these really cool antiques, because it's part of who I am and I like to decorate, nothing is like, you can sleep on my beds, you can play in my rooms, you can be real, and you don't have to like be careful. I had a grandmother. I love this buttery, by the way. I love how she has everything marked, like, what it is. You go into the buttery to get your things. I had a grandmother that was very conscientious about her house. And I remember when standing by her sofa, and she had a mirror behind her sofa, and I was looking in the mirror. I was a teenager, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and she says, "Don't get too close to the mirror. You'll get stains on it. Don't touch the mirror." And I wasn't anywhere near touching the mirror. And then she was like, "Don't breathe on the mirror." And then it was, "Well, don't really stand right there because you could raise dust and the dust could get on the mirror." I mean, like, it was like OCD. And it wasn't a comfortable place. We knew that when we went to Grandpa and Grandma's house, we had to either sit like really quietly and not do anything, or we had to go up to the attic to play. But this seems to me like a home where the grandchildren are adored and loved. If the kids bring home all their dogs, it's okay. It doesn't matter, even though a lot of these collectibles would be really priceless. And at the same token, it seems like she got some really good deals on a lot of things. So it's been the thrill of the hunt for her. And then it's the thrill of displaying all of her trophies. It's a very interesting house, regardless of where you fall on the whole line of, too much clutter or not enough clutter, wherever you fall in there. It's a very interesting house. And her use of color really fascinates me. For someone who likes to decorate earth tones, I need earth tones in my house, but I love the color she has in her house. I can appreciate every different style, and I really love this color blue in the bedroom. I love the chippy bed. I love that cover that is all just like full of holes, and it looks like it's 150 years old and it's been passed down forever. I mean, look at that. That's like crazy. And yet the blue pillow with the blue walls, and her collection of shoes. I mean, how cool are they with the bonnets and the shoes? I love those shoes. I have one pair of old shoes I bought once. I don't even remember what I paid for them, but they're like, I love the shoes. This is interesting too. She's got wood floors in there. I don't know if they are something she's added. I imagine that this is now the upstairs. So love the old shutter. Yep, you're looking out the window. You can see you are now more above the ground. And I love the ticking on those old pillows. I've always loved that look. It just feels so at home, so wonderful. That make-do chair and then that dressing gown. Yeah, and this is really pretty. The mantle that they stripped down from white. And I love that she's a coverlet in that one area. A lot of people don't know what to do when they put a mantle there. What do you do where the wall is? Do you put bricks there? Do you try to make it look like a fireplace? What do you do? She just put a coverlet there. And I think that was really effective strategy. But the blue and the wood, and then this bedroom with the red. So these bedrooms are more Victorian Civil War era, like 1850s or something. You've got in this bedroom, it's definitely a little more Americana, and it's definitely an Abraham Lincoln bedroom. She's got Civil War stuff on there. She's got lots of the pictures of Abraham Lincoln. The oil lamps are really from that era. I can imagine her home with the oil lamps lit at night. This would be so cozy. Like you feel like you're totally going in. You're passing in time when you walk into this home. Those dolls, aren't they fun? And then she doesn't care if the basket is broken. I have broken baskets. And then she's got the cedar chest from her mom, which is very meaningful. She's been able to work that into the interior. Again, the little baby shoes, those little teeny old shoes, how cute are they? And those old clothing, it kind of feels like it lends authenticity and credibility to those bedrooms. I really do feel like when I'm in her bedrooms, I'm looking at someone else's house, like not her house, but someone from 1850. I've walked into an 1850s home, and it's very, very interesting. But then she has primitive dolls on the shelf, and it's a mixture of kind of like your home would be if everything was passed down to you from the generations. So in a sense, this is more authentic than decorating in a certain time period. And I'm always kind of playing in that zone about, are we looking at this time period? Are we going to something else? Like, where do we want to be in our time travel place? This is an evolutionary kind of home, and I think that she's done it really effectively. And Mary, I am so glad you shared it with us. You are very gifted when it comes to color and spatial awareness and design. And I just feel like when we're talking about where heart comes home, that's what you've done with your home. You've made it a place where your heart sits, and we can feel your heart when we look at this home. We can feel your love for your family. We can feel your love for collections and antiques and those old things, your commitment to history. We can feel all of that when we look at your home. And I just want to thank you for sharing it with us. It's been a real treat to look at it. I'm sure that people are going to be looking at this over and over again, because that is my favorite room. I think that's your kitchen, right? And that's your favorite room. That wall is my favorite room in the whole house. It feels so organized. And I, even in my minimal house, wouldn't mind having a wall like that, just because it's really kind of cool. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, people, I hope that you found this interesting. It's a way to go through the house again, but this time you're going through it with me. Whether I love that buttery too, whether or not that's helpful or not. Sometimes you see a really cool house and you want to comment on it. I mean, I love doing home tours when I'm there so I can comment on it. She was a little bit farther away from me, so I couldn't go and do that, but I wanted to be able to just say, wow, look at this, guys, wow. So this is the way I chose to do it. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon.